Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
This works a lot better when I take the overlay off. Welcome everybody to, what is this, hour 1, 2, 3? We're on hour 4 of Podcast-palooza. This would put us 1/3 of the way through our marathon broadcast day today as we go from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. 12 hours of crowdfunded comics coming at you today. And we are up to the point where we are ready to continue. They've been staying overseas for the last hour from here. So we're going to continue that, and we're going to get into the independent book Life on CORA, and we have Mike and Martin with us here. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Awesome to be here as usual.
And tell us a little bit about this CORA world here. I've been there, but a lot of our viewers have not.
Well, the best way to describe it is it's unique. And that is the whole thing about the story, like about the world. It's a sci-fi mecha structure, but you don't see all that much of it. And instead, we look at the fauna of the world. So every issue, we follow a new kind of creature, and in 32 pages, we see how they live, what kind of lives they lead, what kind of struggles they have every single day, And Life on CORA 3 is the third installment on that.
And luckily, I've actually had the restrictions, so you can go there whenever you like.
Yes.
I've actually had the pleasure of getting to read Life on CORA number 3. We put the review up on criticalblast.com, and its full title is Life on CORA number 3, Octaz Climbs. And what I really enjoyed about that once I read it was that you get that whole double meaning behind the title.
Yes.
There's something in there that is not going to come through on the crowdfunding campaign and is not going to come through on this broadcast because it just totally ruins the ending of the story for people if they know.
Well, yeah.
Ahead of time.
And to be honest, the title of Octaz bounces once or twice is a bit boring.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cracks.
Absolutely, yeah. And Octaz is it's almost too superficial to say that he's a rock creature on this
Yes.
world of CORA, because he's actually he's deeper than that. The screen actually shares when I say share the screen. I'm sitting here trying to get the format up here. It's way too early in the day for me to be this punch drunk doing streams. So
fair enough.
So this is the world of CORA. And it's not like this thing in the middle is the world of CORA. All of this is CORA. This is actually what passes for the sun, correct?
Yes. And it only gives off blue and green light frequencies, so there is no yellow or red in the entire comic because of it. So you see the world as we would see it, and because there's only blue light, you're only going to see blue, green, purple, gray, but no red, no yellow whatsoever. To the dismay of my colorist, but she'll have to deal with it.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, exactly.
Close the lid on those colors. Don't pull them out at all, and just work with what you've got, what's left. And you can see this in the art pages that it's very blue, green. And that's it. It's blue. You've got these almost aqua colored world here.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Martin because I've talked with you before, Mike, and you've been able to speak a lot to it. But Martin, as the writer, I would like to get into a little bit about what was the inspiration behind this unique kind of a world structure called CORA.
Mike said make something, so we do.
We need money. That's inspiration.
Mike was just like, what have you got? They're like, well, I've got rock people, does that work?
And I was like, do it.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, Mike is like a Nike advert. Just do it. So yeah, just did it. God, how quick was the? Do you remember how quick it was? It was like maybe a day or two when I gave you the full story.
Yeah, something like that. Like, I already had the series. I mean, we already had 2 issues out and ready, you know, and but then my original writer, she left. So I started looking for a new writer, and I found Martin, and I found Kimberly Kovac, who is not currently with us today, but who wrote Love and CORA 4, and they're going to switch up every single time. And I just went, here is the sandbox, here is the rules for the sandbox, have fun. And that already gave me like 5 new scripts. So I'm loaded in work.
Yeah, because let me get the division of labor straight in my head here. Mike, you created the CORA concept, and then you basically handed out the different. Okay.
Yes.
I'm there. And of course, every world is every piece of CORA is going to be the blue-green hues because that's the source of light. Got it. I'm up to date. I'm up to speed.
Basically, Mike is God, and the rest of us are minions.
I mean, I already get called Jesus by my colleagues. I mean, I can't deny it. You know, and I had to use my calling and create a new world with all kinds of new creatures.
Well, you know, that's how it was done the first time. God subcontracted a lot of the work. People that didn't make it into the books. It was all off the books.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when Mike eventually walks on water, that's when it starts getting scary.
I make no promises, but you know, I don't like swimming all that much, so you know, I'll probably run. I'll take a quick sprint across.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have a rubber ring ready for you, so don't worry.
All right, so there's a video on here, and I don't think I played the video last time. Is there? Actually more than one video.
No. The rest is just pictures.
You got 2 videos, but I'm gonna play them. I'm gonna play the main one. And,
really? That's weird.
Yeah, you got this one here with the video.
Oh, that's odd. I guess I made a mistake there, but both are fine.
We'll start with the first one at the very least. See what we got in here.
Or okay, that's okay.
It takes a while. And it's short and sweet and to the point.
It is, yeah. No, I learned to animate for that. That was hell.
I've been doing some animation.
It's a lot of work, and that was just no. It's quite the work. Like I did this in Clip Studio Paint, and like I got Clip Studio Paint EX for it. Like I need more than 24 frames to work on this. Let me just put down 150 euros to get it. You know, that was not fun. But it kind of shows off what happens in this comic. It's an animation of the first page. And of Octas's little struggle with the Hidraki birds.
Yeah, because every creature has a predator, and you know, just because you're walking around in almost impregnable rock doesn't mean that something's not out there for you. And these birds are, because they've got the beaks that can shatter the rock and use them to make their nests.
Yeah, just because you're a rock doesn't mean you're not part of the food chain.
Exactly.
Yes. Something's going. Everything eats something.
Yes,
that's nature.
But Octaz isn't a rock.
No,
That's the deceptive part of this. Octaz is like an energy creature of some kind, right?
he is silicone based. And
Okay.
actually, the entire Rockhola are silicone based. And they take off part of themselves and put them in what you see as a rock creature. So they don't overheat, because in order for silicone to not melt in on itself, it needs to cool down a lot. It needs to stay very cool, like just below 0 degrees Celsius. So in order to stay so while going out, supplying itself, because it's one entire creature that splits itself up, it's a hive mind, they cover themselves in these rock creatures.
Now, this sounds like science, Mike.
Yes, there's a lot of science going on.
Is this like, pull out the encyclopedia science, or is this Star Trek science?
Not a little bit of both.
Okay.
I have been slowly but surely figuring out the world and how everything works, but it's still a work in progress. Eventually, I want to do like the CORA walker or something, where it's either like a captain's log talking about how the entire world works. Because a ship crashes and they talk about, like, the captain talks about all the kinds of creatures that he encounters in a very scientific way. But on the other hand, I'm thinking about it as an encyclopedia, where we go over the creature scientifically as well. So I'm going to do either of those, but that's still in a work in progress. So the comics first.
Well, hopefully, instead of Captain Kirk crashing there, it's going to be Commander Koenig from Space 1999 who's going to meet the Rockhola and go, "Oh no, not more of these talking rocks again."
Or, is this this didn't happen last time we talked. Is this Geode's home world here from Star Wars? They got the new Star Wars character who's a rock.
I don't know.
Maybe
it could be. It could be.
Maybe.
But I don't think, like, if Star Wars is going to suddenly have a world like this because they think up something new, I'm gonna sue them. You're like, dude,
hey, Mike,
dude,
trust
no.
me, I work on Star Wars. Let's not go there.
Oh, let's not piss off the employers. Okay.
Basically, yeah, I quite like working on Star Wars, and I'm going to do it for as long as I can.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's more than power to you, but like, this is my world, and I'm keeping it.
Fair enough.
Now, it's a unique. It's a unique world because it's not a globe, where we think, all the matter of the universe spun and spun and spun, and just, you spin things, it kind of forms into balls. This screams out that this was artificially created either by intent or by cataclysm. And there's just so much going on. First of all, it's a segmented world. It's not divided by water. It's divided by literal space. So, there are creatures that are on this thing. They ain't making the hop over here.
No. There is some of that coming up, but we're working out the little details. That is going to be Love from CORA 7 and 8, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And there's really no stars in their night sky, I would guess, because
there are. Yeah, there are.
There are stars. So I'm guessing then when the orb, for lack of a better term, goes through its dimmer pulse, to where you get the night version of night, that they can see these other bigger chunks. You have a visitor.
Yes, I have a cat who is very needy right now.
Well,
because I gave her wet food, but now she refuses the wet food, but she still wants more.
Of course. Now, there's not enough to even start eating there.
She's being a little princess.
Put more on the plate now. Bring her on the stream. People love the cats.
I'm trying to, but she is under my desk somewhere, trying to be a little butt. Yes, you are. Here is Shelby. And Shelby is my little girl. And
Hi,
she is my
Shelby.
little needy girl.
We have kitty scream.
Mwah.
Oh yeah, she looks happy to be. I love how she just kind of got her arms draped over yours, like I'm here.
And now she wants more attention. Yeah, you just want to play, don't you? I know. Here,
I keep waiting for Lucy to walk in on one of my streams here. I got a little black pug dog here who comes in every once in a while. She
Fun.
just comes in as snortles and chortles. But when it is night, do they look up or inward? I guess it's you can see these other chunks.
Yes, they can. There are points in the comic. There is actually, if you scroll down to the other big preview page, her name should have been Grumpy. Yes, there. But if you look on the left, besides the core, then yes, you see the other continent.
Okay, and you do see both the orbs.
Yes.
Okay, I thought that the one was like out of view at some point.
No, they all have their own orbit. So at some point, you're going to see every little bit of the world coming around.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to hit science on you here, because from this perspective, I'm seeing both these orbs and I'm looking at the horizon. And I'm going to have to guess then that where I'm at here will be like on one of the outer rims of one of the continents, because I would expect that the main orb would always be straight overhead from the perspective of the inhabitants. But it's not. So it's not the orb is not as big as the sun to where it's like, it always looks directly overhead no matter how many hundreds of miles you go, because it's millions.
No, it's roughly 150 kilometers across. Like it's a small thing. It just gives a lot of light. It's a small world relatively.
Right. So this horizon area here, this would actually be towards the center of the continent. If you got under the orb, then you're in the center of things, the central portion of it. Boy, the geeky things we're going to talk about with this strange world, because it's got such a unique set of rules to it that we're trying to work out the geometry and the physics.
Oh yeah, it's been so much fun. I got pages and pages and pages of it.
It's really tricky to change the light bulbs in those things, though. So that's always fun.
Well, that's actually got quite a good point to it, because it's not a ball of gas or plasma or anything. It's something sentient created.
Yes.
I almost said man-made, but that might be presuming too much.
No, it's a true fantasy. There's no humans.
Exactly.
Like we have. I made a very golden rule. There's going to be no humans in this series. Like that was the first rule I made. Yes, it would make a great fantasy animation series, and believe me, it's one of my end goals. I'll pitch to Netflix at some point.
Yeah. So bang goes my Ozzy Osbourne cameo then.
And yes, Genuine Comics, it does have a lot of text in it.
Yes.
Most of it is Octaz's internal dialogue, because Octaz has gone out to get water. He's on a very low tier of the mountain. All the rock of him, and I think this smaller window here, if you can see that is the mountain. But the mountain is made up of all the rock creature armor body things together, and Octaz is part of the kind of a middle lower tier. It's a caste system. It's a caste society.
Mm.
And I haven't figured out why he has to go get water yet. Apparently they do use water on the mountain, and it doesn't just come down from the top.
Water is very hard to heat up, so it makes sense. They need water in order to stay even cooler, because that core keeps on giving off heat. Like at any point in the day, it's just a little less and a little more.
I will be very interested in learning in issue 1006, somewhere down the road here, whether or not these creatures and these sentients existed before the cataclysm that made CORA what it was, or if they have had to evolve from almost nothing from the point of the cataclysm to where the story of the cataclysm really doesn't exist. No one knows why it was that way, because there was no culture that passed it on down.
We'll let you know in the year 2060 when it's done.
You know, when I'm old and gray and probably have a little less hair, if I go after my dad.
Yeah, but Mike, the chances of you being resurrected again are quite high at this rate.
Well, I mean, you made so many comics already. We're just gonna zap you back to life and make us more.
Yeah,
you get a 3-day holiday.
And a lot of chocolate.
Jesus.
And then you have to come back. This book, by the way, is fully completed. I know, I've read it. So all you guys are doing is waiting on the actual printing of it, right? Or have you even got the printing done and you're just waiting on distribution now?
I had one single last question for the printer. For like, hey, how are we going to take care of the variant covers? Because and with Brexit, because my printer is UK based, like there are some things that we have to discuss real quick, and then he didn't reply for 10 days, and he finally got back to me earlier this week, and apparently he was struck with COVID. So it's he's recovering. We still got 2 months to deliver on the planning, but proofs are going to take a little while longer. But yeah, everything is pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, but it won't take any time to get a proof, and it's the mailing of the proof back to you, and presuming everything's good with it, you can just say yes, go forth, and go forth and conquer. Now, you talked about the variant covers. There are 3 of them to this.
Yes.
And my favorite, but this is as big as I can show them. This is the 3 covers here. Is there a bigger version further down here?
I'm afraid not. I still have to fix that. I'm really sorry. I really should.
Yeah, because people need to see the Stone Surfer physical copy cover here. That's
you can get the original 11x17 painting by Daniel HDR on this campaign, and all the money that I make off of it is going to go back to him as well. So that is the €400 tier.
Got it.
We are also
to get that, he's going to get that money.
He's going to get more besides the commission price that I paid for this piece. So this is one hell of a guy. Like, he's worked on a lot of Marvel and DC stuff over the past 25 years. He does like almost weekly live streams on YouTube in Portuguese because he's Brazilian. But yeah, that original painting is for sale. That's is
such a gorgeous painting too.
Oh God, yes.
And I can't keep bringing it back. There we are. Of course, it's obviously the Silver Surfer 1 homage picture here.
Yes,
and it actually does
with good reason.
Yes. Can you dig into those reasons, or?
The Rockola can detach parts of their body, including their arm shields that you see them carry around all day. And he actually uses them as a surfboard at some point. And that is where immediately it went, click, we got to do a Silver Surfer homage.
In this case, a granite surfer. But
Yeah, G-surfer.
Yeah. That was such a great scene too, to see Octaz surfing down the row here, down the side of a hill, basically on the grass.
Yeah. Where he rolls down first, which you can see in that page.
Yes, and it was fun because it was like, is this his first time going after water? Because he's like, how am I going to get down here? I'm going to try doing it this way. Oh, that was no fun at all.
No.
They like to experiment from time to time, you know. So I was like, oh, why the hell not?
Yeah, because
By the way,
Yeah, and then it was like, dum, 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 dum.
Exactly what I've done when I was a kid. You know, you get on the top of a grassy hill and you just roll down it.
Yeah.
Then you find out you can't stop.
Yeah.
if you go to stretch goals real quick, I got a really, really nice little thing going on. Because one more backer, someone is going to get an original page from the comic. Let me see. It's not that one. Well, where did I leave it? I don't know. Where did I leave it? Did I put it behind
I'm
you?
not seeing. Every 25 backers is an original page. That's right.
Yes, and that's
we have
raffled
24.
out. We have 24. We are one backer away. So if you just grab a digital copy for yourself, you have a chance to win that original page. You know, no shipping, no whatsoever. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to send it out to one of you.
That's very cool.
So jealous. And
it doesn't matter whether you get the physical copy of first, second, or third variable print. So you should just jump on that Stone Surfer physical copy and.
Yeah, and you know, you pay the same amount. Like overseas, it's a little expensive, and I know, but you pay the same amount of shipping if you get 1 through 3, or just issue 3. So for those who haven't seen the series before, which makes sense because it's the first crowdfunder, that 1, 2, 3 combo or the discount combo, all the way at the top, like the featured perk, where you can get all variants, and issue 1 and 2 together. It's the same amount of shipping.
Okay, so this is truly everything. This is number 1 and number 2, and then these 3 here are the 3 different variable covers, variant covers of issue number 3. So you're getting 5 comics here for $47 US. That's that's a great deal. People should be jumping on this. I know that the book it doesn't have your usual 90s action hero look to it, but it's such an engrossing concept and story, and I particularly like Octaz looks like a warrior of stone. He's not.
No.
He's like, he's made of stone, but he's scared. He's like, this is a dangerous thing for me to be undertaking, especially with that, that bird and his sharp beak wanting to, break me into splinters and turn me into his nest.
He's like a normal guy. He has hopes and fears.
Yeah, no, he's not a superhero.
In some rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a superhero. You're right, but he does because he's not super. When he does have to do something heroic, it makes it all the greater of a sacrifice when he does do it, because it's not just Octaz out here getting water. It's Octaz and his partner, and she's not quite as fortunate as he is.
No, no, she doesn't hide away as well as he did. So, there's a little bit of trouble in there.
And I can't say anything more without giving away the whole plot of the story here, because
it's hard. I know it's a short story, but
it's a short plot with a lot of world exploration in it.
Yes.
So we could talk about every page of the world exploration and not give away the story. But if I say one sentence, what actually happens, the story's gone.
It's like less is more in this case.
Yeah.
Also, if you go down to the updates, I have a little preview of Life on CORA 4.
Oh,
so,
let me see where the updates are at.
All the way at the top.
They're all the way at the top. See, I'm going the wrong direction.
Sorry.
I blame Indiegogo. They don't make it easily navigable. Okay, so here we are hitting the updates. You've extended the campaign with another 30 days.
Yes.
Got that. And oh, look at this.
So
We're
that
going
is
to go
one of
under the sea.
concepts. We're going to go under the sea. And if
Cue
you go...
Sebastian singing from the Little Mermaid.
And if you go down to March 5th, the update on March 5th, you see the first page of Live on CORA 4 completely colored.
You have a lot of updates here, which is
Yeah, no, I want to keep in contact. Like people,
what you should do.
And it's actually highlighting the fact that I was going to be on your show.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you even you even linked to the article, the review we did. So
yes,
this
did.
Is our stuff right here. Yes, folks. That's what we kind of. That's the real crux of what we do is comic book reviews and movie reviews. But we spend an awful lot of time on YouTube for that. So this is a nice little helical shaped seafair. I see the word there. I don't know what it means, but
that's the name of the place that Kimberly came up with, the other writer.
Okay, I like it. So this is some kind of what is this, like a jellyfish creature-esque? Because it's translucent.
That is a ritual site for the creatures that we're actually going to follow. So that is just a hole in the ground where a thermal vent is creating an upward drift. And it's used for a very specific but very important ritual that is going to be very much discussed in Live on CORA 4, which is going to be called Inner Rituals. Inner Talents, sorry.
So, knowing what I know about the world and how it may have come around, I find it fascinating that they've developed rituals around an event, which is probably an intelligently designed process to keep things working. And they've evolved around it, like it's like, well, we have to vent the gases every 27 and a half hours, or otherwise we'll build up too much pressure and explode. And we've evolved to the point where it's like, it's time, here it is again. Yeah, let us celebrate and rejoice.
Actually, for that, like, to really go into that, Live on CORA 1 is perfect, because that just really focuses on exactly that aspect.
It reminds me a lot of there was a science fiction novel I forced myself to read, and I'm glad I did. It stuck with me because it was one of those pillars of science fiction that you're supposed to read this if you like science fiction. A Canticle for Leibowitz, and it was all
Try saying that when you're drunk.
Yeah. Well, and it's like thousands of years in the storytelling, and it's all like, it starts modern day, and it's Leibowitz, and he's just a scientist, and he's going, he's got a shopping list of things he's supposed to get, bread and milk and whatever, and apocalypse, boom, gone.
Yeah.
And then it's like several thousand years later, and they find his skeleton, and they find the words on the list, and there's like this holy relic, and he becomes Saint Leibowitz because his for whatever reason. And then thousands of years later, they built a city on the place, and it's not even called Saint Leibowitz anymore. It's Sanley Bowitz. You just watch the progression of the language breaks down and the rituals build up. You have monks who are devoted to Saint Leibowitz worship, and all the guy was doing was trying to go get groceries when he got nuked.
Yeah, that's about right. And a lot of that is you can definitely see a lot of that going on in Live on CORA. Like, that thermal vent is there for a reason, but the creatures don't know that reason. They don't care about it. This is how they designate a very specific part of their society by doing that. And yeah, it's you actually see it go wrong in the series, and how the creatures that are troubled by it because, it's called inner talents. It's about the inner talent ritual, and it decides what inner talent you have and how your innate talent gives you a specific spot in that society, and you have to take that job from there on.
Yeah, you have to be that cog in that wheel to keep the machine moving.
And we follow a creature who's just not okay with it. It does not care for the thing that he's been designated to. And his way of coping with it and how society makes him part of that. And it goes a lot deeper. It goes very into a very psychological, social aspect of it, but also told in a very all ages way.
It brings up a great philosophical debate about, if a society functions healthily with this kind of necessity of roles, is the presence of individuality a benefit or a disaster for society? And we all want to be individuals just like everybody else, but
it's
in so
kind
doing,
of premise I'd expect to find on an episode of the old school Star Trek, I think.
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, it's a very basic question. We promote individuality, but what if promoting individuality wrecks things? And we've seen it before in different stories, but definitely here with you've got a guy who doesn't want his assignment.
I mean, literally being told you're not special, nobody cares, and this is just what you're gonna do. This issue hits me a lot. Like the coming issue is hitting me a lot harder than I thought it would. Looking back on my own life, so I'm really excited and see I'm really looking forward to seeing the kind of response that it's going to get from the audience. It really went a lot deeper than I expected.
And that's the thing with Octaz Climbs as well. It went a lot deeper than I expected. I didn't expect as much from that story as I got, but and that's why I was moved enough to actually write a review on the thing to tell people, hey, you need to get this book and read this book. It's more than just alien rock guy explores world you haven't seen before.
No.
There's discussion points in here. There's stop and think points in here. And
that's something that I'm most proud of with my writers. Like every single one of them, you instantly can jump into it. Like I have the intro page that goes, this world is foreign, this is how it works, this is what happens in it, and here's the creature you're going to follow. And every single time there's questions coming up from readers. There's 2 alphabets in Life on CORA 1 and 2 that I have seen kids that read it go over and be like, oh my God, I can read this because the actual text is beside it, and translate it and see all the little Easter eggs in it, and come back to me like, but what kind of creature, like, what kind of creature do you think would also work, and have a lot of feedback on even further building the world with their imagination.
That's the best thing when the world grows because of the feedback you get from imaginative readers, not necessarily the ones that say, oh, this makes no sense because it would run out of power over a certain time, the battery would die, or perpetual motion doesn't exist kind of thing. But when you have readers that are like, oh, what if how would this work if this happened, then you've got fodder to build on.
The great thing about imagination. If there's something you want to make it work, your imagination will find a way to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. And then having people that understand that so perfectly, and make it work so amazingly is just a blast to work. Like I'm pushing eight pages a month because I really don't have more time than that. But I would love to do 16 or make one every month if I could, but
We lost him. Martin, are you still there?
I'm still here.
well, Mike has disappeared. So,
sorry.
I blame Shelby.
Yeah,
yes,
I was
blame the cat. Thank you.
The cat knocked him off. He's like, "Pay attention to me, damn it!"
Yeah, when in doubt, blame the cat.
Mm-hmm.
So have any of your younger readers written to you in the new alphabet, Mike?
No, not yet.
No,
they haven't. There's only a couple of kids who've read it, who are very excited and are looking forward to more and more.
We're gonna have to talk about something else.
But yeah, no.
Martin, are you there?
I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay.
And you can see Mike, right?
I can't. No, he's loading. I can't see Mike.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me at least?
Something strange has gone on.
Hang on. I'm gonna remove and pop back in. Boom.
Okay.
Boom. 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 Okay, you're all three there.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Woo.
Ah, there. Okay, great. Then
Sometimes
it happens.
It's a miracle.
Hooray!
He's returned. The second coming of Mike in the stream.
He has risen.
Well, we can make that happen too.
Well, there's a very nice comment from Herrenberg. Like, very cool that you invented two alphabets for this world. Conlanging is another passion of ours. It's not so much conlanging as it is creating a new alphabet for the English alphabet. So, like, just different symbols for the same letters. Because
it's a substitution cipher.
Yeah, it's a substitution. Like, we didn't go that far. Mainly because it's for all ages, and I have 8-year-old kids reading this and being all over it, and I want everything to be approachable for it. It's more like the two languages are similar because they're from the same kind of creature but distant cousins in Lavacora 1 and 2, and they have the same kind of speech and the same kind of sound patterns, but like they have a different way of pronouncing things, and that's why there's slight differences in the alphabets. But they both speak technically the same language, and that's where we decided on just using a substitution for both of them.
So, what are you planning to use for communication in book 4? Because these are all underwater, which you can't really get a breath and vibrate vocal cords.
Well, the same kind of sounds that a whale would make or a dolphin, like just vibrating makes the water move around, and that on its own can make sound drag really far.
Yeah, but the two animals you mentioned come up to the surface for air.
No, in Lavacora 1 and 2, it's all above water. It's
right, but number 4 is going to be underwater.
Yes.
So porpoises and whales, they come up and they get they get air in their chambers. Are the creatures that are underwater, are they going to be able to talk to each other?
Yes.
Or are we going to be some other method of communication?
They're actually the most advanced civilization that we're going to see so far, and live in actual cities. So, like, it's actually going to go a little further. Yeah, they're actually talking and have a very build up language. I haven't made a special alphabet for them, because they're the main creatures that you see in that issue. But I might just go around and actually make an alphabet for them as well, because it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I used to love that when I was a kid. I was wanted to write in Interlac, which was the Legion of Superheroes alphabet, and it was always like, they're speaking Interlac. It's a new language, and I was like, oh, look at this language. And then I realized when I got older, like, wait a second, they're just replacing the alphabet characters.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, because it needs to be fun. It needs to be easy. It needs to not crack people's brains. I want this to be an approachable series. It doesn't matter where you jump in.
Well, I had a question and I lost. It didn't make it out of my mouth before it dissolved. You've been getting a lot of feedback on your first 3 issues, because you've had closer contact with the actual readers. You weren't crowdfunding this worldwide.
No. We paid the first issues ourselves, and they have been doing amazingly at conventions so far, and we would have not crowdfunded issue 3 if it wasn't for not having any cons.
Yeah, I completely get that.
But the feedback on both issues so far is just so incredible, and it's a very European comic. That's my style. That's what I love. That's what I grew up with. So I knew when I was a kid, if I grabbed a certain comic from a certain series, it was gonna have a story within the same universe and the same kind of setting, but it would be something new every single time. And that's exactly what I want to recreate with Love and CORA.
Sounds good to me. I mean, I've loved what I've read, and that's why I think more people should check this one out. I think you're going to come away with an experience in this that you're not going to get in your usual comic book. It's going to be one of your keeper comics. How far into the series do you think you're going to go before it's time for a paperback compendium?
I'm thinking 5 issues. Okay. Then I want to do. I'm signed up with Arrow Comics. I'm talking to Arrow 4.0, where it's going to be distributed as smaller American comic format.
Yeah.
And we're still talking on that, and I want to give Live on CORA issue 1 and 2 a revamp, because they have my coloring, and my coloring absolutely sucks. So I'm gonna give
You only had 3 colors to work with, Mike. How could you screw it up?
Trust me, I can. But I'm gonna give those to my colorist and be like, hey, you know what to do. You have the mindset for this. I don't. So when that comes around and I got those revamped, people will still be able to get the floppies that we're giving out, or go for the full-on paperback. And yeah, I'm thinking around 5 issues, so that would be 150 pages, just about.
Yeah, that'd be good. Now, Arrow 4.0, that's Randy Zimmerman. We've had him on the show just about a week ago, so you'll be in good hands there.
He's awesome.
They're doing a 150-page graphic novel right now that's an anthology that, it's not 150 pages, 120 pages, but it's like cheap.
Yes.
For what they're putting into it. And every time they reach a stretch goal, it's like, okay, another 10 pages, another 10.
Oh, my God, yeah.
This thing's going to be a phone book by the time they're done with it.
It's so cool. It's going to be so cool.
How far have you plotted the adventures that will happen on CORA? I mean, do you know how it ends? How it all
there
comes
is no
together?
end.
Or? No end.
This is just a series that I'm just going to keep going for as long as I feel like it. It's my passion project. It's just too much fun to work on to just give up on it. And being able to just draw something new every single time and put little nods in new issues to the previous ones, it's too wonderful for me and too whimsical for me to ever let go. This is more than I ever expected to create for myself. And, you know, if my writers drop out, there's going to be new ones because I want to keep going on this.
Yeah, when I saw CORA the last time, there was a book series that I was reminded of, and I couldn't come up with the title at the time. Patrick Carman did a book called Atherton, a trilogy of books called Atherton. It was, you know, post-apocalyptic Earth, and it was these boulder-like satellites that were orbiting Earth that people lived on, but they were always like, it was like rounded continent. It was like ice cream cone shape, pretty much. It was just like lush and green, tropical, and then cliffs all coming down like this. But, you know, because of gravity, you could walk all the way around it. But there was like this edge here, and nobody ever went over the edge. And nobody knew at this point that Earth was down there until, you know, you crossed over the border and you climbed the mountain. Now, it wasn't just a walk. You were climbing this mountain, which was actually gravity is weird.
Gravity is weird. That is true.
Once you hit to the bottom of the Earth, you're actually climbing. It's the center of the Earth. You're actually climbing now.
I mean, at the moment, we're planned out until issue 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, and then I've still got to do the actual scripts for 7 and 8. The one for number 5 is done, and then in between the Lego stuff that I do and another project that we're going to be crowdfunding hopefully very soon, and any other writing stuff like webtoons and stuff that I can do, then I shall be doing those 2 scripts as well. And then after that, we will continue to figure out this world and the creatures and beings that inhabit it.
Now, when you say your Lego stuff, you do the comic books for Lego, correct, Martin?
I do, yeah. At the moment, I do a couple of them. I do Lego Star Wars. I do Lego Batman. And I've just recently turned in also a Lego Jurassic World script, which I will be awaiting notes from for revision.
All right. Those are far more limited and far more difficult to get your hands on because you've got to buy a Lego kit to get the comic book that comes inside it.
I mean, those magazines are sold in Europe, in China, and Russia, but no one in America actually has a license, so you can't buy the magazine in America or Canada.
Oh wow!
There is a Lego magazine that comes from Lego, but it's not that one.
Yeah, I think it's like a fan club one, which is totally different.
Yeah, and they'll put some comic pages in there from different things. I don't know if they're yours or not, but
no, I'm pretty sure they won't be the ones that me and the publisher in Germany work on. But it's really weird that no one in this time in America has ever got, and in Canada has ever got the license to reprint these magazines over there. It's bizarre. Really, it really is strange.
Okay, how much do I have to crowdfund to get the license to be the guy who does that now? Because Lego is huge over here.
Yeah.
We've started doing Lego build streams.
Nice.
I think they already exist. I think they already exist on YouTube right now. There's a couple that go on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not like we're just making this stuff up as well. All of our stuff is actually approved by the guys at Lucasfilm and the story group there as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's all official.
So it's not like just the goofy Lego humor that you see in like the Lego movies. Then it's
actually all 100% approved by the guys at Lucasfilm. Yeah,
it just happens to be done in Lego.
Yeah, it just happens to be in Lego, and you just may see Darth Vader in wearing a Hawaiian shirt from time to time. Chilling out, having a surf.
Yeah, he's casual Fridays on the Death Star.
The Emperor has his own merchandise stores. All the villains have their own fan clubs, and there's TIE fighter takeouts, that kind of thing.
Very cool. All right. Well, that's something else we're going to have to. Maybe you can get them to crowdfund those into a compendium of comics, Martin, and we can buy them here in America that way.
I wish everyone in America could buy them. I really do.
I'll fund that. Guys, I'm going to have to dip out on you now and move
Yeah.
on to the next hour here. But thank you so much for popping in with Life on CORA. Looking forward to, getting my hands on a physical copy of this and seeing what you guys do with that number 4 book.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank
It's
you.
going to be awesome. Take it easy, man.
Everybody in the chat, follow us over to hour 5 of Podcast-palooza. We've almost reached the halfway point. We are moving into talk with Graham Nolan for Alien Alamo. So be sure to pop over there and catch us there. See you soon.
Take it easy, guys.